biggest winner, though, from this schedule release is which team? Let's lead you off, Pete. You take us off.
I didn't pick a team, and I picked the fans. And the reason I picked the fans, as long as I've been doing this, schedule release day has been a national holiday. And last year, it wasn't. And the reason it wasn't was because fans had no idea if they'd be able to attend any games. There was uncertainty as to whether the games would even be played. They played the entire season, but there were a lot of empty stadiums. It was weird. I sat in the Super Bowl, and for the first time ever, I thought I was at an exhibition game. Now the fans are back. We will have full stadiums. It will be just like it used to be. And now the fans can start planning their trips. Can I get out on the road? How can I get there? When can I get there? Can I get a hotel? That's the fun part of schedule release day. And I think that's back this year for the first time in 2 years.
Oh, look at you, Pete. You're trying to get unblocked from some of the fans that have blocked you on Twitter. Good try. Nice try. I don't think it's going to happen. You will
I blocked them, B-Mac.
Nah, they block you too, Pete. They block you too. I think for me, I agree with Pete that's a huge plus because the uncertainty last year was something that we all were going through. You know what I mean? But for me, the team that is the biggest winner from tonight's scheduling release is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, they not only returning 22 starters, pretty much every significant coach is returning as well. But look at their ball games. Look at how they start the season off. You get Dallas at home. You get Atlanta at home. You travel to the Rams. You travel to the Patriots. And then you get the Dolphins, Eagles, Bears, Saints. Bye. I mean, the first, 8 ball games, it's safe to say you may see 2 games that could be 50-50. You know, even when it comes to winning or losing, but outside of that, it's safe to say, and they will be the favorites in every ball game leading up to the bye. And then after the bye, you get Washington, you get the Giants, you get the Falcons again. So the way they start the season off, I mean, their first 8 ball games, worst case scenario, if everything goes accordingly for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, worst case scenario, I see 6-2. And if you're 6-2 at the halfway point, the likelihood of you getting into the postseason is very, very likely. So me personally, seeing how well they played last year and winning the championship and looking at their first 8 ball games, they won tonight.
All right, B-Mac just totally poo-pooed all over my Cowboys take earlier, saying I like them with 6.5 points. But you know who the winner was with the schedule? The Cowboys were. I was going to say the Bucs too because of the 5 primetime games, but guess who else has them? That's right, the Dallas Cowboys do, and their schedule is one of the easier schedules in the entire NFL this season. And you mentioned some of the first games of the season. They do have the tough road game, but already we know the NFC East is totally up for grabs. Washington last year ends up winning the division. Who knows how the Ryan Fitzpatrick experiment's going to work if he elevates that offense. We know the defense is going to be good, but I think they're still beatable. The Eagles are a question mark. The Giants are a question mark. But then you look at the first few weeks of the season, Chargers at home. You got the Eagles, the Panthers, the Giants, the Patriots, and then you can catch your breath with a bye week at week 7. So that's a pretty good spot there. And in addition to the 5 primetime game, which is always a motivator. Like the monotony of the NFL, it's a 17-week season this year. It's gonna be a grind. Then you know what helps get you through that grind? Playing in prime time. Players get up for that. It makes that week of practice that much more exciting if you don't already need something to get up for with Dak coming back, with the excitement of playing in Jerry Jones Stadium. So I think the Cowboys are one of the bigger winners from the schedule release.
Yeah, you've all had a chance to soak in the schedule for a few minutes, that is. How about the biggest loser from the schedule release? B-Mac, let's you get us started.
Well, my biggest loser is the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, before you jump out of your chair and be like, B-Mac, what are you talking about? Yes, the NFL voted and said they have the easiest schedule out of all teams in the National Football League. They do. But if you look at how they start the season with a young ball club, a young quarterback, with a young cast of young skilled players surrounding him, this could be an ugly start to the season. Look at their first 6 ball games. They got Atlanta. They got San Francisco, and if San Francisco is healthy, especially on the defensive side, they're going to be a playoff caliber team. You get the Cowboys Monday night, you get Kansas City, you get Carolina, you get Tampa. So it's safe to say in the first 6 ball games, guys, looking at their schedule, you may say 2 wins, right? it's kind of hard. And if you don't get 2 wins, and if you don't do that well, playoff hopes go down the drain in the first 6 weeks of the season. So for me personally, the first 6 ball games, in my opinion, will either make or break the Eagles' season. And based on what we know, how the roster is assembled compared to some of the teams they're playing against, I don't think they will come out of the first 6 ball games above 500, and that could lead to a long, long season, regardless the NFL saying they have the easiest schedule out of all NFL teams.
I'm going to go look at a team that has been down in the dumps. It's been one of the worst franchises, and I don't think it's going to turn around, especially if you look at their first 5 games of the schedule. It's the New York Jets, who I thought made a mistake going with Zach Wilson. They have nobody behind him. He is starting week 1, oh, by the way, against who else but Sam Darnold, who's going to have a chip on his shoulder. The Panthers will be rallying around him, want to make amends for their new teammate, to try to get him some revenge against, this team that just cast him off aside. So I think that's a tough one. Then they've got the Patriots up next. One of the toughest places to play always, whether Aaron Rodgers ends up there or not, is Denver at altitude. Tough place to go. Then you've got Tennessee, who is one of, ground and pound. Welcome Derrick Henry trying to run all over you, and their defense should be better. And then to top it all off, Atlanta, who knows how their season is going to unfold, but it's in London before you get the breather of the bye week. I think the Jets could have 1 win, maybe, going into the bye week, and then here you go again, another rough year for the New York Jets. So I think it's going to be a rough year for the Jets. I think they were one of the biggest losers of the schedule release.
My biggest loser is the San Francisco 49ers, and the reason I say that is the start to their season. You start on the road, and I know that the Eagles and the Lions, you get the Lions in week 1, you get the Eagles in week 2, they're not great teams, but you're a West Coast team, and you have 2 10 o'clock starts essentially for you on the East Coast. One in the Midwest, but it's on the Eastern time zone. Those are tough games. Those are tough games to handle for any team. And here's a team that has a quarterback controversy. Will Trey Lance be in there? Will Jimmy Garoppolo be the quarterback? How does that play out? Then you come home. Oh, you're home. You're back in your own home building. Easier times. And here come the Green Bay Packers. And then the week after that, you're home again, but here come the rival Seahawks. I don't think the league did the 49ers any favors with the way they're starting the season. And if they have quarterback issues early, it's really going to derail their chances to be a player.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.